Okay, so I want to do a quick review of this movie, American Gigolo, from 1980. And overall, I liked it. It's a pretty good movie. Some good actors in it. It's maybe a little slow, maybe a little bit. Probably cut like I don't know 5-10 minutes, but it's good. It takes its time telling its story. It's an older movie, so I enjoyed it though. It's well written by Paul Schrader, who uh, who wrote Taxi Driver. Oh, and The Last Temptation of Christ. He wrote the screenplay. Mosquito Coast. I think that's with Harrison Ford. Never seen that. Cat People. Raging Bull. Wow, screenplay. So this guy is a pretty big screenplay writer. The Yakuza 74. Never seen that, but I've heard that's good. Um, so yeah, but he wrote and directed this. So um, but yeah, I enjoyed it. So now I'll go into spoilers. So it's about Richard Gere. He's, as the title, a gigolo says, and he's meeting different women, and he he mainly dates older women. Um, and he works for I think he works for Nina Van Palland. I don't know. I can't really pronounce her name. But anyways, okay, so she's like born in Denmark, and he works for her, and basically she gets like a cut of the money he makes. I think it's like a six. She gets 60%. He gets 40. I think so. So like she sets up the dates for him, and he so he she sets up the dates for him. So he's going on some dates, but he also has a side hustle where he's making money on the side, and um also I guess he cuts her out of, like, it's only the first time he meets with a woman, and sometimes he goes back to them a couple times, and then he gets the full money. So this is kind of pissing her off because she wants she thinks she deserves a cut of every time. And she taught him how to she says this, how to dress, how to seduce women, like what they like, blah blah blah. She basically made him. So then he starts having a side hustle, and he starts seeing other women on the side, and one guy that's setting up the dates for him is Bill Duke from Predator, one of my favorite movies of all time, the '80s Predator movie. And oh yeah, he's in Commando too. That's right, he has a great scene in Commando with Arnold. He's in X-Men: The Last Stand. Oh man, that movie's bad. That's a bad movie. He's been in a lot of stuff, and he's in Red Dragon. Oh, he's in Payback. That's a pretty good movie. So, anyways, he's been in a lot of stuff, but he he starts setting him up with women on the side, and so he's doing that, and then also he meets this woman, Lauren Hutton, who he hits on at a bar. But then for some reason he doesn't really want to date her. Her husband is a senator from California. I assume, I don't know, maybe he's a state senator. I'm not really sure that they just say he's a senator. I think Brian Davies plays him. But anyways, maybe just a state senator. But so he like she really likes him. He won't touch her though. Um, for some reason, I don't know. It doesn't really. I don't think it really explains that. But anyways, so and then and then she tracks him down. She finds out where he lives, and she meets up with him, and they start seeing each other. So, anyways, I mean, I'm not gonna go through it all, but one of the people that Bill Duke sets him up with is a married couple, and he goes out there, and at first it's like a guy that meets him at the door, this older guy, like they're like very obviously very wealthy, and he's like, well, I'm not really into that, but he's like, no, I like I want you to watch, like, or I want, he wants to watch, anyways, with his wife. So he does that, and he doesn't really like it. He thought it was really shady because like he gets kind of, I think he gets like rough with her, and I don't know. Doesn't actually show some of that, but he just doesn't like it. He didn't like that guy. He found it creepy. Um, so he leaves. He gets paid, and he's like, okay, I'm not doing that again. And then Bill Duke calls him. He's like, well, he's like, oh, they really liked you. They want you to see you again. And he's like, no, no, I'm good. He's like, I didn't like that. He didn't tell me it was this and that. He lied to me. So then the plot goes on. He keeps seeing Michelle and in other women too, older women. Then all of a sudden, he's reading in the newspaper that that woman that he was with, the wealthy woman, was killed. As in like a home invasion or something like that. So that just kind of goes by, and the plot keeps moving along. But then all of a sudden, a detective shows up, Hector Elizondo, and starts questioning him, and he's a prime suspect. And throughout the course of the movie, you begin to think that he's getting framed. In some parts, like it's almost implied that that Richard Gere did do it, that he went back there and did it, but he didn't though. But um, so it's implied he's getting framed. Um, then he begins to look into it, and Bill Duke is being paid by the state sent by the senator, who's husband to the woman Michelle that he is dating, and he's actually dating her. Like he's like that, she's not paying him. So they actually really like each other. Like she's like in love with him, and so Bill Duke is being paid by him, so he's involved in this, and he confronts Bill Duke, and it's revealed that Bill Duke's actually um, gay, and he has this guy that he's seeing, and then Richard Gere starts to think that he is the one that did the murder, and that he is setting him up, and that he planted these jewels underneath his car because it's like jewels were taken from the rich families, the rich people's house, and handcuffs were planted underneath his bed that had her fingerprints on it. So it's this whole thing. If he's basically being set up, Hector Elizondo thinks it's him. He keeps questioning him. He's following him, and also Richard Gere's being followed by like a staffer, I think, for the senator, And he finds out, confronts the guy, looks in his wallet, sees it's his staffer. So, anyways, all this unfolds throughout the movie, and in the end, he's being chased by the police. Like he has to get rid of his nice apartment. He has a really nice car, I think a Mercedes. He has to get rid of it all. He rents a car. He's on the run. He confronts Bill Duke at his place, and he's like, "Why are you doing this to me? Like, why are you setting me up?" And then like he says like, "You pissed off too many people." Like and then he's like, "I'll pay you money," and he's like, "Trust me, I'm being paid more than you could ever, you know, get." So basically, by the senator. So um, and then they start kind of fart, and then start fighting each other because the Bill Dukes goes out to the balcony, and he's just like, leave my apartment. Like he's like, whatever. And then he throws him over the balcony, and then he grabs his legs, um, and he grabs his legs and tries to save him. Kind of tried to, throw him over too, but then tries to save him, um, but he ends up dying. And then he gets arrested, and basically he's going to go down for the murder of that lady. They don't do the Bill Duke thing because some people saw him try to save him. They probably would though, but anyways, they don't. And then he also throughout this he had an alibi. He was with this older woman, but she won't admit it because she has a husband and she doesn't want him to know. And I don't know, maybe she's part of the conspiracy too. I don't really know, but um so she won't admit that she was with him that night, even though she was. So that's his alibi. So he has no alibi, and and in the end, that woman, the senator's wife, visits him in. I mean, his trial's gonna occur, in the future, and he's in jail, and then she's like, "Okay, I'll say that I'm your alibi," and I don't know if it was just me, but it seemed like almost implied that she was part of the conspiracy. I don't think so though. I think it was just her husband, because he actually talks to him at one point, and he's like, "How much money do I have to give you to make you stop seeing my wife?" And then he's like, and then basically I don't want your money. He's like, she's not even paying me. So they're just like dating. But I don't know. It almost seems like it implies that she's part of the conspiracy to get him. Um, like so that he will stop being a gigolo and maybe settle down with her. I don't know. That's just in like the last scene. Just kind of seemed like that to me. Maybe not. I don't know. I haven't really looked into it, but anyways, yeah. And then the movie ends. Doesn't really go into what happens to him. I mean, I guess because he has an alibi, maybe he gets off, but maybe they don't believe her. I don't know. But really, it's pretty good movie. Like I said, I think it's a little long, but Paul Schrader's a pretty good writer. Like I may go back and watch like the Mosquito Coast or something. I don't know. I think it's Harrison Ford. Uh, and it's funny. I was looking at trivia. Christopher Reeve and John Travolta were offered the lead role of Julian, who's Richard Gere's character, but both in the end turned it down. Reeve was supposedly offered $1 million to play the title role. Travolta originally accepted the part, then revoked it. And this is bizarre. Like, I don't even. Is this true? Also considered were Chevy Chase, which is so weird. Harrison Ford. Okay, I could probably see that. Still, it's a little weird. Mel Gibson, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Sylvester Stallone. That's bizarre. I cannot see them. Maybe Stallone, because he's actually a decent, he's actually a good actor. I mean, Arnold is, I wouldn't say Arnold's a bad actor, but he does, Arnold, he is action and a little bit of comedy. He does that well. He's got charisma. But anyways, I just thought that was weird. Christopher Reeve. Now that's interesting. I could maybe see that actually. But it's 1980. It's a few years after Superman. He probably didn't want to do that because there is some nudity, and he plays a gigolo. It's like he's Superman, so he probably didn't want to do that, which I understand. Uh, John Travolta, I could probably see that. He said they accepted the role, then revoked it. So I don't really know why, but oh, Meryl Streep was offered a role. Okay, so she declined. She found the subject matter distasteful. Glenn Close, Jessica Lange were also considered. I'm not into Glenn Close really. I've never really liked her that much. But anyways, just let's see. So so yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good movie. Wow, Paul Schrader did Bringing Out the Dead too. He wrote that. Man, he's done what, one, two, three, like three or four Scorsese movies. He's written the screenplay, so he's probably good friends with him. Wow, Raging Bull too. So yeah, four, I think. Um, Oh, reportedly the reason John Travolta turned the film down was because he wanted final cut approval, but director Schrader would not give it to him. Travolta allegedly kept the Armani suits, especially tailor-made for him for the film. Oh, wow. The picture is one of at least four films that Gere has done after Travolta has turned them down. The other being Chicago, Days of Heaven, and An Officer and a Gentleman. Wow, I bet Travolta regrets that. I've never seen Officer and Gentleman, but that movie was won a lot of awards. The film is widely accredited for having established the clothes of designer Giorgio Armani in Hollywood, since the Italian designer clothes are featured prominently in Julian's wardrobe. So, oh yeah, and also a thing of this movie is this. It's like when people think of the '80s, like the look, like the neon lights. Like this movie's got a lot of that. It's very '80s. Even though it's 1980, it's probably filmed in '79. But in the music, and it's really well done. Especially the style of the direction is really good. I really got into that. Um, so I mean, check it out if you're interested. I know I just went through the whole plot, but anyways, and there's like a TV show now, I guess, and it takes place after he gets out, 15 years in prison for the murder with John Barenthal, who's the Punisher. I don't know. I don't know if that's any good. But anyways, this movie got some good style, some good direction, good script, good acting. I think it's maybe a little bit long, but anyways, I enjoyed it. Uh, yeah, check it out. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and that's about it.